Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Let's pick up where we left off with the judge. Calling in Mr. McGilded. I kind of forgot what we were doing, so I had to make it up as I go. Let proceedings be resumed. Mr. McGilded, have you been listening to the discourse of the day? To be sure I have, my lord. There are now two matters on which the court desires to hear from you. The first is whether or not there was a third party with you in the omnibus cabin as proposed by the defense. The second is that if such a person was indeed present, why did you conceal the facts from the police? Begad, no. It is not in my nature to hide anything at all. Just answer the question, please. The truth of the matter is, I've been desperate about this all along. Do I tell you all to keep your mouth shut? Tell us what, Mr. McGilded? Just get to the point. The fine fellow represented me is absolutely right. In the carriage on the night with myself and the other man, there was another passenger. It's true! Aye, it 'twas me who helped the little urchin get away after it all happened. You what? I think he's just admitted he's guilty to something. No, Magnus McGilded, that convenient excuse can't save you now. I'm truly sorry, so I am, Lord Van Zeeks. I'm sure you'll be waiting to know why I said nothing when I was taken by the police. I do having a very good reason, I assure you. Which was... well, the little child was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And not in any way involved, you see. He was a child. What? What was going on? If the police had known the wee one was there, they had assumed she'd done it. They'd have hauled her in this here courtroom just like myself. I was only trying to spare her that. Young hearts and young minds are easily damaged, my lord. What is going on? What is he saying? And I can't even trust the own defendants. And who was this young child of whom you speak? He's not gonna tell us. That I don't know. You don't know? Aye, well, the wee thing just happened to be in the carriage that night and never saw her before or since.
Objection!
We have absolutely no reason to believe this man. The prosecution calls for the witness' statements to be disregarded by the court. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the urchin isn't here in this courtroom as we speak, listening to the proceedings. What? Oh, bang! What just happened? Why is there smoke? Smoke everywhere. There's a fire. Someone's trying to get away after him. So used. Cough, cough. Can't say anything to all the smoke. What is going on? Be careful, Mr. Naruto. Cover your face. Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. Are you ready to call an emergency recess? What is going on? Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom. What just happened? It just went from like 0 to 100. We were hurriedly removed from the smoke-filled courtroom by the bailiff. Amid scenes of chaos as people stumble over one another in desperate to flee the chamber, we had no idea what was happening. All we knew that, for the time being, at least, the trial was suspended. Oh, that's one way to end that part. But we're gonna keep on going. Save the current progress? Yes. Ooh. Stuff really happening now. We do have a lot of save files. Like, a lot of save files. Which is kind of weird. 8th February, 12:52 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. What on earth just happened in there? Mr. Naruto, I managed to find out what happened. Mrs. Sato? I was told it was an advanced form of smoke grenade. A type of exploding device that releases smoke. A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use. Just making sure everyone is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long. How would you have done something like that? Who would have done something like that? The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently. Flee the courtroom? Why? Well, it's a young girl around 15, I hear. A young girl? Then could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilden was just talking about? My thoughts exactly. So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilden, actually? There's so many things I need to ask about, but he's not here. I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions, along with the young girl. Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here in that trial? She was taking a huge risk for what possible benefit to herself. There's another matter that's troubling me. What's that? The 20 pence. Huh? Oh, according to the coachman, Mr. Bippo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly. Now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers, which means the figures don't seem to add up again. She's right. That is strange. Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go straight in. Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of this trial. We'll know soon enough, Mr. Sato. Yes. (18th February, 1 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. Alright, we're back in the courtroom. You see, we got a young girl here. Who looks like she would throw newspapers at people. There's a young girl next to McGilden. Look. He must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilden. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade of the sort typical employed by the army. Good gracious, the army! What in the devil's name? It was an elaborate attempt by the young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? He refuses to answer. What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilden? I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why it is that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that. It is all tied up with the events of last night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilden, give your testimony. You will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case. Just what did happen that night? Everything always has to be so complicated. It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. Okay, let's see what's happening. The young girl. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begah! A loud thud and wee scream woke me up in the fair start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. Sorry, what? I'm kind of having trouble visualizing what's happening. I remain somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather on the night in question, this young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus. Is that correct? It is exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the 5th passenger, my lord. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. As ready as I ever be, I guess. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start. Alright, I guess we just proceed on pressing everything. The young girl. The night in question, I took the back seat in the oops, I say pressed. Oh well. And when you first got into an omnibus, was there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the 5th passenger, as it were, I see. Oh, 1st passenger. Aye, and that's why I took the back side as I did. It's the most comfortable, so it is. Can you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, this is how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, it is the most comfortable and I feel at most ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from the time as well. A loud thud and scream. Let's see now. A loud thud, you say, and a scream. Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? It was like the sound of someone falling to the ground. That sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed? Well, now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't say it like that. And when the sound woke me up, I opened my eyes. There wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. Huh. You didn't see anyone? But at the same moment, you didn't hear a scream? From the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume? Not above me, no, my lord. It was from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before my eyes. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at my feet. I sat him up on the seat across from me. You said you sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did, on the seat across from me, as I said. I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man lying on the floor now, would you? 'Tis common courtesy, so it is. I find that a little hard to believe. Ah, Lord Van Zeeks, now why would that be? You wait to find a man lying dead at your feet in the carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabin man. Any upstanding member of London society, that is. Well, now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money to exorbitant rates of interest. Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself entangled with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no, I was always intended to report it, so I was. Only I had in mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. Whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self just do the same? Yes, the scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Then I turned to find out where the scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir, so I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well, now it is a queer thing. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you use the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious. Under your backside? And when I lifted the seat on which I had been sitting, I found that there was a wee cubbyhole there for storage. Hooter, we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember? Oh yes, the whole bus submitted. Yeah, we saw that. Don't worry, we were pretty much ahead of the game there. This will be a very good time to have a look through inside. I mean, are we gonna have more information than what I originally saw? Because oh, is this just for people who didn't quite realize? Let's see if there's any more information. Oh wait, there's blood stain here now. That's new. Oh, did I completely miss that? That's blood, isn't it? Is something wrong? Oh, it's just, well, this blood stain is so obvious, that's all. and yet Van Zieksen has made no mention of it. I suppose that does seem a little strange. I mean, I completely missed it. Why do I have such a bad feeling about this? This seat is a handle, it seems. Let's open it up. Oh, I can't even see anything inside it now. It's empty now. The storage compartment seems nothing is totally empty. Something doesn't seem right here, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Wait. This doesn't make sense. It's like we're in an entirely different omnibus. We were just in here like not too long ago and there was stuff in here. This is all too weird. It'll be a very good time to have a look through among the inside. That's when I found her. There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self. You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. It was hard to see in the dim lamp, but she was all curled up in a wee ball when our eyes met. Me heart nearly stopped beating in my chest. Oh, you're real overreacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I could have a wee chinwag with her. The seat opposite? That's right. Just next to the dead gentleman there. You sat this young girl next to a corpse, huh? Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see? And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream, a fellow's voice this time. Presumably, that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seat. Right you are, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and gentleman with the knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witness did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact the girl and this late mason. Aye, me lord. It was, I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. It's certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl. After that, of course, with the screams of the gentleman over us, the driver realized something was wrong and pulled the horses. Thank you, I've heard enough. The events as explained are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl? Her name is Gina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer. Earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. So a thief. Or a pickpocket. This girl here is a petty thief. Order! Order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Is that gun? What the heck is that? Ah! How dare you! What was the meaning of this? And she's gone. Ugh. The girl, she's gone. Open your eyes. I'm over here. Good gracious, hell. What was the point in that little sidestep? I know what you all lots are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This dirty little dipper, you'll say, slipped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed in the corner, so she knifed the gent. Go on. That's what's in your heads right now. No, not at all. And we got paintballed. Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what is I do these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do. Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs? This was in a bag I lifted the other day, down where they keep four-wheel drags. It's nice, isn't it? I like the pink the best. Don't wave that thing around in my direction again. So, you admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question. Tis alright, lass. You can tell them the truth now. Alright, yeah. It's just like the Irishman said. The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in the case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question. Alright, if I have to. What the girls saw. So I snuck inside the carriage before they looked up on the horses, just like always. But it was a right old waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hidden place. It's pitch black in there. Then after a while, I hear this loud bang. Nearly jumped out of my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. He didn't help me get away, mind? Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, it's simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she could not possibly kill the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. Oh, gonna take a look in the omnibus. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration isn't called for. This is where I sat that night. And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath the seat, presumed? Yes. It does appear that large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature. Aye, but of course. The wee lass was stuck in there because I parked myself on the seat of the duration. Ah. So you see, that's why I let the last bolt. I knew that if the police found her, they see automatically assumption she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined when all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your actions would result in your own innocence being called into question. Not at all, my lord, not at all. I knew in my own heart I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of the less fortunate lass. My goodness. What a perfect gentleman. My lord, this fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for even doubting you, sir. Oh, yay, innocent. Woo. Oh my gosh. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at every truth every time. Yay, everyone says innocent. What's gonna turn that all around? Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual and they're leaning to a verdict of not guilty. Mr. Naruto, this, well, it must mean... Must mean what? That we're victorious! We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Oh, well, hello. That's a nice foot you got there. If the sight of my iron heel Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy. This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in the British judicial practices. Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotions rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers and the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put in, was included in their investigation. The compartment underneath the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in the black and white here in the police report. Good lord! Evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGillicud's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from underneath the seat. What? Oh, I mean, yeah, I kind of caught on to that weird feeling. Order! Order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been affected, the council? Naturally, we must acknowledge the defiance of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment underneath the seat was not empty. I'm glad how they have that little bit of detail. If you checked it beforehand. Well, my Nipponese friend. Huh? Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of law. Pray, what did you find in the condition of the underseat compartment to be? Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. Sorry? Go ahead. Tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks. Well, counsel, you have something to say on this matter? Wait, are we giving you a choice here? How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of the little compartment underneath the seat in the omnibus? It wasn't empty. In all honesty, it wasn't. I really don't know if giving this answer is helping my case as a counsel for the defense. But as far as I remember, at least. When I first examined the compartment, I'm fairly certain there were a number of articles inside it, yes. Are you sure, counsel? Ugh, be whisked! What are you saying now, you daft daw? I thought you were on my side here. Excuse me, I'm on the side of justice and truth. What game are you playing? Your task is to defend the man in the stand. Why would you say something so compromised in his position? Is everyone just questioning me? Did I say the wrong thing? As the advocate for the defense in this trial, I confess I'm still not entirely sure where I stand. But it seems to me that I should state what facts I do know as clearly and honestly as possible. Interesting. It's not altogether pleasing, fella. I'm simply telling the truth, Mr. McGilded. Well, don't forget that you're supposed to be representing me, my best interest here, lad. Now then. A fella's memory is a curious thing and not altogether reliable, no. The court must consider the facts. That there's a cubbyhole underneath the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Do you think perhaps it would be in your best interest now to admit that you might have been mistaken? Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think. That compartment is designed to house equipment, house equipment and used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The guild's rules state the omnibus should be properly and fully equipped at all times. So it certainly wouldn't have been empty on the night of the question. People, isn't that irresponsible? The money lending fleecer and the pick piercing are lying. I don't know, is this game telling me I should lie? Let's see what happens. Ah! I can't believe I was nearly taking it. The stinking rich are always stinking her. Nothing but cowards and a lot of them. What? Oh no. It's a trick, of course it's a trick. Quite so, I must concur here. Well, everyone changes so quickly now. With calm, calculated reasoning, one can only arrive at this conclusion. Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. Well, I think we're now at balance. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is a matter of the outstanding cross-examination. Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Barely is at work, it would seem. Alright, before we begin the cross-examination, this is actually, we're going to end this part here. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I will see you all later. Goodbye.